The Dutch predict sea levels will rise faster than they thought. Here's how they plan to survive. The Dutch are no strangers to weathering the tides. For years, the waterlogged country has faced the threat of rising sea levels with ambitious infrastructure designed to keep the waters at bay. One such example is the Maeslant storm surge barrier on the Nieuwe Waterweg in South Holland. Built between 1991 and 1997, it is part of the Delta works designed to respond to water level predictions calculated by a centralized computer system. The barrier closes automatically when Rotterdam is threatened by floods, protecting 1.5 million people. The gates shut if the water is expected to rise 3 meters or more. According to Mark Walraven, senior storm surge barrier advisor, the barrier was designed with rising sea levels in mind. It was built to have a lifespan of around 100 years. It is able to withstand an increase of 5 meters before significant changes are needed. In reality, we have closed twice in 25 years. We expect to be closing more often in the future, of course. We accounted for around 50 centimeters of sea level rise. But of course, we can't predict the future exactly, so we expect we will need to make possible alterations sometime between 2060 and 2090, he says. The barrier is tested once a year, drawing a crowd of hundreds. Are sea levels rising? According to the United Nations, sea levels are currently rising more than twice as fast as in the 20th century. In October 2021, the Royal Netherlands Meteorological Institute, KNMI, released a report stating that initial water rising calculation rates were underestimated. If we do not reduce greenhouse gas emissions, the sea level off the Dutch coast could rise by 1.2 meters around 2100 compared to the beginning of this century. If the melting of the Antarctic ice sheet at the South Pole accelerates, even the 2-meter sea level rise in 2100 is in sight. In 2014, KNMI calculated that the limit would be 1 meter in 2100. So the calculated sea level rise has now been revised upwards. The Netherlands is inspiring other countries with their floating farms. However, the centuries-old strategy of dams, dikes and storm surges may not be the only solution to protecting the future of the Netherlands. Located in the Merwehave, Rotterdam's floating farm is the world's first floating farm and is considered one of the many examples of green innovation in the Netherlands. It is home to 40 cows, whose milk is processed below deck. The idea was born after Hurricane Sandy hit New York in 2012, when food ran out fast. The provision of food in a city relies heavily on logistics. And if something floods, there are no more logistics, explained Mink van Wingerden, the co-founder of the floating farm. Then we had the idea that if you build in a climate-adaptive way, meaning you move up and down with the tide, on the water, you are less reliant on logistics. That idea is spreading. Singapore and Dubai have expressed interest in opening floating farms of their own. In the meantime, as the Netherlands continues to adapt to the climate crisis, barriers like the Maeslant give people confidence that they can face an ever-uncertain future.